the only process by which you can get onto the board.
Yes.
If you do that by fear, force anybody on anybody, then you are beating.
No matter how good your credentials are,
but you
must
need to go through that
contest.
process.
Okay.
If the Congress, which was stipulated by the law, the statute of the NFF, 44 delegates, if they chose Chris Green to return and some of the members who were part of the old board to return, then so be it, because they were the ones who are created to
We just have to accept
we
it.
have to accept it, because there's nothing we can do about it. But the fact is that let's give them the benefit of that. Let's see what they will come up with. Some of them had Amadou had a very wonderful kind of campaign, had a manifesto, all the things he has done, but the pressure is not going to be on him now.
We'll have to
because
wait.
he has said a lot about what he will do for Nigerian football. Then we want to see how far we go. Because I know Nigerians, we are quick to judge. The next 2-3 months, they will need to see what he has in place. I hope they don't disappoint, especially for Giwa. A lot of people have been saying we want people who are they call them fine gentlemen.
All right. Okay. We'll just have to wait and see. And the good thing about time, it's that you don't have to wait too long. Even if it's 20 years, at some point it will expire. So we'll have to wait. Congratulations to everybody that was elected on that board, and hopefully they will be able to do well for Nigerian football. Well, it doesn't look like Donald mentioned piece of the graveyard earlier. It doesn't look like all is now said for us to move on, and you're going to understand the reason why. And today, what you're about to see on your screen is a letter. I don't know if I should use the word faction now or group, but this is coming from another group that feels aggrieved, feels that they are the duly elected NFF, and that's what you have on your screen. Is a press statement from the Giwa group. Still sees himself as the president of Nigerian Football Federation. But let me try and scan through and pick out some of the important things. In the press statement, he has it that FIFA, as a law-abiding institution, stayed away from the illegal gathering in Warri. That's what they're saying, and that they are aware of the court processes in place against holding the so-called Congress. And of course, it says that in line with the orders of the Federal High Court in Jos, the elected board, that's the Giwa board, will meet on Thursday after Independence Day in the NFF office, where far-reaching decisions shall be taken and Nigerians shall be properly briefed on the outcome of the meeting. This is not looking very good, Nodi. But let's look forward to Thursday. What do you think will happen? You have one board that has been elected by the Congress, another that sees itself as the NFF, and raises some points. But the question is whether or not those points should be considered. But on Thursday, what do we like is likely to happen when these two groups meet?
The fact is that who will people relate with? That's the first question.
Okay.
When you have to do with football, because by the time the people comes, will be going for the African Women Championship, and the CAF will need somebody from the federation. Who will CAF relate with?
Which one of the groups?
Because I know CAF and FIFA are going to be on the same page. I know which one of the group. Okay. So we want to see which group is influential when it comes to FIFA organized competitions. Maybe within Nigeria, some of them will see claim because they are within the territory where they have to do, but outside Nigeria.
All right.
Let's see what kind of influence the Giwa group will have, because their first major assignment for now is who will represent Nigeria as far as football aspirator that will represent Nigeria during the African Women Championship in Namibia. Okay,
Chris, let me ask you, as far as FIFA correspondence go, you would want you be forgiven if you say that the Congress side has been receiving correspondence with FIFA. But looking at the federal government, who do you think the government will look to? Or the government will be neutral, or the government will say, you pack up shop, I recognize this. Where do you think but as far as FIFA goes, you can be forgiven if you say this side seems to be having it okay with FIFA. But looking at the federal government now.
See, let me be frank with you. Okay. I've said this so many times in different fora, and I've made myself very clear on this. Except there's a situation whereby all the parties are brought together and, a common truth is arrived at. we will never have peace in Nigerian football.
Okay.
I've said this so many times. And you see, the issue is that we have a situation on our hands which is very dicey. We have Ambassador Giwa who,
on one side,
who says, and he has all the apparatus within his reach. He has the money, he has the connections, he's a chairman of a football club. Out of the 2 Premier League clubs we have in Nigeria, he's a chairman of one of them.
Privately
owned clubs. So, and you don't discard such people.
Okay.
These are stakeholders in the business. Even if you don't want to deal with them, you have to bring them to a round table, and have a solution and agree on one thing. You see, and we asked me a question about the federal government. I tell you authoritatively that before I came here, I spoke to some people who also contested the election, and they told me that they are not, they are not convenient with what happened in Warri.
Okay, with the outcome.
With the outcome. And you can see from what the letter that Chris Giwa wrote, you can see that the sorts are still coming out.
Okay.
Everybody is going in the next 2 or 3 days or 1 week. You see that there will be alliances here and there. People that lost the election will connive with also Giwa group and all that, and there will be confusion in Nigerian football. We don't need that. What we need.
In your opinion, this election is not what we need to.
Yes, in my opinion, this is a stage-managed election, as far as I'm concerned, because I said it before and I keep saying it.
All right.
There are so many people who feel, and up till now, they still feel, that they've been been sidelined.
Okay.
Some people were suspended, some people were banned, some people are being owed. Few days ago, Kaduna United players went on a protest, saying that they've not been paid for 12 months. And some of these guys that are running are part and parcel of this. Okay. And unless, my brother, unless you bring these guys together, everybody, there won't be any peace. Any election you are staging is just going to be,
all right. Nodi,
a fluke.
You look a bit, calm, but I don't know if you agree with everything Chris has said. Where does it leave us as we try to wrap things up in this segment? Where does this leave us? Do you see this election leading us to the peace that we want, or we're going to have more trouble on our hands?
Well, the delegate that voted, I don't see if they are going to have another alliance with the Giwa level.
Okay.
Unless some of the members who contested elections will go.
The ones who lost?
But the delegates, I don't know whether they will come and form a special alliance, because they were the one who fought the same elections that were held on August 26th. The election wasn't in
ensure that this one took place.
Yes, took place. So I don't know what that will happen. But as Chris said, we know Nigeria, there's going to be some alignment, there'll be alignment of forces. It could happen, it could not. But going by what Giwa is trying to put up, I think the man is going back and forth with all this matter of bringing out one letter and the other. He's even writing more letters than FIFA now. He has written more letters than FIFA.
All right. No,
he has sent more letters than FIFA himself. Okay. And that's the strange thing about it.
Yes. All right. Let's.
It's not only himself that's right.
Okay. All right. It's interesting. Let's move on the show, and maybe we should read one or two of your tweets. Let's see here. There's a question here from Nodi, and one of the tweets that we have here is saying from Adeni. Adeni is saying that with this newly elected board or the president last, that's the question. He's listening to Chris and all the things he said, and he's saying, will it last that 4 years?
The last one had the same issue.
Crisis.
We knew they went to court.
In and out of court.
There was one court that said nullified the federal high court in Ikoyi in Lagos, nullified the election. FIFA came up with a hammer. They banned Nigeria. People who went to court withdrew their cases from court, and FIFA they lifted the ban.
All right.
This board stayed for almost 4 years after the World Cup they had it. So I don't know whether they will stay or not, but the fact is that if they are duly elected and they have to stay, because I know what FIFA is trying to do. They want to ensure, because they know the threat they will give us. By the time they ban us, they said anything that will come up again about Nigeria is going to be at their Congress in March. I know after the Congress in March is that the Nations Cup is a no-no for Nigeria. We should forget it. Okay. That's what they have said. So we must avoid that, because I know what they will do. They will think
but some have said the best way to avoid that was for this election to have taken place.
Well, these people said they will need the Nations Cup. Let's just buy them so that they will go and sleep.
Some have said the best way to avoid that was for this election to have taken place. And now that the election has taken place,
That's
in
what
FIFA's
I'm saying.
books.
The position now. The thing is that when somebody is trying to create a parallel body,